My name is Rukia Gesaade, Rukiagesaade.
Thank you. Mr. Piquet?
Good afternoon, Ms. Gesaade. Can you please tell us how old you are?
I'm 21 years old.
And do you live in a suburb of Minneapolis?
Yes, I live in Brooklyn Center.
Who do you live with?
I live with my family, my parents, my siblings,
How many siblings do you have?
about 5, 6.
How long have you and your family lived in Brooklyn Center?
For about as long as I know, so basically my whole life.
How old are your siblings that you live with?
It ranges from 23 to 6 years old.
You have another sibling you mentioned, and is that a sibling named Sahra?
Yes, yeah, my older sister.
Is she alive today?
No,
Did she pass away on June 16th of 2023?
yes, she did.
How did you first learn that she had passed away?
I first learned that she passed away that same night. I was sleeping. I came back from work around like 8 p.m., I would say. And I came home, I was sleeping, and I was woken up by my 2 brothers. And they were like, hey, we gotta go. And when we left, we got in the car, and it didn't feel good. I could tell that something was up.
So as you got in the car and you were driving somewhere else, you didn't really know the full scope of the situation? Is that
No,
right?
no, I didn't know.
Did you know that something had happened with your sister, Sahra?
Yes, at that time, I did know that something happened with my sister Sarah, and I knew some of the girls that were in it, but I didn't know if it was them for sure or not. But I did know for sure that my sister was amongst them.
Your brothers wake you up, you get in the car, you're going to go to another location.
Yeah.
Where did you guys go?
So at this point, we got in the car and we were driving to Lake Street, where the accident happened.
And what did you see when you got there?
At that point, I heard the news pretty late. I wasn't there in the beginning of when everybody got there. I came around 2 a.m., I would say, so pretty late after the crash. And when I went there, I just saw like a lot of ambulance, like yellow tape and like, yeah, so yellow tape, ambulance, people crying, but I don't really 100% know that they passed away just yet at this point.
Did you find out at some point while you were on scene?
Yes, like people were coming to me like, hey, like, sorry for your loss. Yeah, so at that point, I figured out that Sarah passed away. And then I wasn't too sure who was in the car at the time. So they were just telling me the names of a couple of my friends who were also in the car.
So I want to go back a little bit. Do you know what your sister was doing that night? What brought her to that area?
Yeah, so that following morning, she dropped me off at work in the morning, and she was just telling me about like, hey, I'm gonna go get henna, and I'm gonna go with her friends after work. I told her, hey, like I can do your henna for you, but she insisted. She was like, I'm gonna go with my friends. So I didn't know that she was gonna go to caramel and get her henna done with her friends at the time.
What's henna?
Henna is like, it's like body art, kind of like not a permanent tattoo, but it's like it leaves after like about a week.
And was there any special event or anything coming up where she wanted to have the henna done?
So there was a wedding on the following night, the next day, but they never made it. So
Do you know whose vehicle was being used by Sarah and the other girls?
yes, the vehicle was the vehicle that we have at our house, the Civic that we shared here and there. When she came from Rochester from school, she would use that car, but mainly me and like my siblings would use it.
But it wouldn't be unusual for Sarah to use that car.
No, yeah.
Can you tell us all a little bit about Sarah?
Honestly, to speak, I can't really like put Sarah into like words because she was like everything, like a mentor, a built-in best friend. She was a very smart person. I always looked up to her growing up. We were very close in age, about a year apart. So.
How old was Sarah when she passed away?
Sarah was 20 years old at the time when she passed away.
And you said that you and she had a very close relationship.
Yes, we did.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Growing up, we were always kind of like always brought up together. Like we looked alike, so my parents would make us like match clothes. I can't even put our relationship into words because literally I did everything with her. My first things I learned how to bike, how to swim, how to read, all my first words were with her. So I can't really put it into words, kind of, because she was just everything to me. And like growing up, all my siblings were all very close, and like she was just, I would say like my best friend.
What were some of her interests? What were some of the things that Sarah liked?
Sarah's interests growing up were like always hanging out with her friends. Like she loved quality time. She loved helping others. I think that's something that is very profound of her. She's very selfless, I would say, always helping. She loved reading. I think she just loved her family so much. She loved her friends. She loved, honestly, school. Like, although it's tough, she loved school. You'll never catch her without her iPad. Like, always wanting to learn more, always wanting to help. She wanted to become a doctor, and everything was taken away from her. And not just her, but 4 other sisters,
You said that she wanted to become a doctor. Was she in school at the time of the?
Yeah. So she was in school. She was about to get into her last year of school. She She always wished since she was young, like, hey, I want to become a doctor. Like, it was one of those things, like, from a young age, we have, like, you have dreams, you know, you tell your parents, hey, I want to become this. Our parents, you know, they didn't. We're first generation. We want to make them proud. We want to. And it was something that we'd always say to our parents, like, hey, we want to do this. We want to make you happy, you know, because our parents, you know, like, they didn't have it easy. So we wanted to make them proud. It's just like, I want to be a doctor. She was just so close to the finish line, not that far away from it, you know. So
Did she have plans for graduation?
yeah, so she was basically almost done with her credits. I would say by the end of that, like when that crash happened, she had about a semester left of credits. So she wanted to do study abroad with her friend Sahra and Haley, and she just never made it. So she was so close. All that hard work, all those staying up at night, all that all-nighter she pulled, everything that she did, basically gone to waste in an instant. And she never got to see her fruits of her effort. Never got to see, like, hey, you know. Even the night before she actually passed away, she was actually staying up for an assignment. She had summer classes. So even her last moments, she didn't even get to enjoy.
And what school was it that she was going to at the time?
She went to Rochester, U of M.
Was there a graduation ceremony that was held there at some point?
Yes, there was. There was a graduation ceremony last May.
And was there any invitation or anything that the school did for Sahra?
Yes. So they had a couple of events organized. One of the events were like basically to remember the remembrance of Sahra, and the chancellor went above and beyond for her. And and then her graduation ceremony. So that I attended last May.
Was there a degree that was extended at that graduation ceremony?
Yes, there was a degree, her bachelor's degree in health science.
And who walked for her as part of that ceremony?
I did.
And you accepted that degree for her?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did.
Right. I just want to ask you a few more questions. I know this is really hard. And I know there's no way to put this into words, but can you try your best to tell me how the loss of Sahra has affected you and your family?
I honestly feel like every day, like, I wake up, I look at her bed, like, hey, she's never coming home. I look at her clothes, but she's never gonna wear it. I look at everything like, hey, I'm never gonna see her get married. I'm never gonna see. I'm never gonna see her attend my wedding, my graduations. That's gonna happen next year. She's never gonna attend those things. And my family, they're devastated. Every day we wake up, we know that she's never gonna come home again. We know that we're never gonna hear her laugh. We're never gonna see her smile. We're never gonna see anything. And then 10 of the parents that are here in the courtroom today, they'll never see their daughters. They'll never see their smile. They'll never see the fruits of putting effort into their child, never seeing their graduation. They were so young, everything taken away from them, like 17 to 20, like their life was just starting. Everything gone in one instant, just like this. So I have, like, I don't know. It's really sad.
Great. I'm just about done here, but can we show the witness the photo on the screen, Your Honor? I'm showing you what's been marked as Exhibit 18. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yeah, I do.
And does this photograph include your sister, Sarah?
Yes.
And this true and accurate photograph that your family provided to my office?
Yes.
I'd offer Exhibit 18.
No objection.
Exhibit 18 is received.
Permission to publish.
Yes.
Can you tell us who we see in this photograph and kind of what the context is behind it?
Yeah, that's my sister Sarah, and that's my mom. And the context is, I think we were at my house, and I think they just took a selfie together.
Do you know how old she was in this photograph?
I'd say like roughly 19.